Well, Peter, you know what time it is?
It's train time.
Yes, and coming in this show today, we will take a little trip down to Australia to go visit Jason Wood.
That's right.
And at the last news in regard of Australia, last weekend they had a lot of rain, and most of the fire apparently are under control, which
is good news.
Well, it's very good news because Jason was only a few miles from the fire where he lived. So, and being a fireman, I think he knew very well what the danger were. And we'll have a bonus, Peter, this week.
Yes. We have photos of the month.
Yeah. All the photos that been submitted in the Canadian Model Railroad Facebook groups get accumulated and are featured on our show. Some of them post some pictures, but we already had enough for this month, so they will be probably next month.
Yes, we'll keep doing that every month.
Well, as long as we got some viewer that submit some photo or some short film, we'll certainly keep doing that, and be nice to feature from time to time one individual in particulars. See a video.
Yep.
What else we got?
Keep those pictures coming in.
Wow, I hope so. So remember, when you get into the Facebook Canadian Model Railroad Facebook group and you see that pictures that I got on B-roll right now, you know you are at the right place, so just post your pictures. We'll retrieve them from there. Any scale, any type of trains, doesn't matter if it's your personal train or at the clubs, all the pictures are welcome.
And we also have a short video pass-by on the CMR layout upstairs.
Yeah, the Cassette Gorge. We went rail fanning in there, and we catch a CP train, and we caught also a CN with DPU. That was a pretty nice view of train. Very lucky at the Cassette Gorge.
So we'll see that in the show.
Yeah. And then I guess we'll pack up our luggage and go down south and visit an old friend of ours in Winnipeg.
Lloyd Smith, yes. He was a member with us at the Selkirk Model Railroad Association.
Yep. He's got a beautiful layout. Spent a lot of years on that layout. That will come to you right after that short intro.
In compliance with COPA, this video is not for children under the age of 14. Your discretion is advised. Sponsored by CanadianModelRailroad.ca and by donations from patrons like you. Remember to subscribe and click the bell so you can be advised when a new show is uploaded.
In this segment, we'll be visiting Jason Wood in Australia. Jason has sent us a beautiful video of what he's doing with his layout. His layout is in standard measurement, probably somewhere around 24, 25 feet by 16 feet. He does tell the size, but
in the video, yeah.
Yeah, but on meters.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Now that we know that the fires are contained down there, we sure feel better for Jason.
Yes.
And let's look at Jason and his layout in Australia.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a modeler from Australia, and my channel is the JNWHO series channel here on YouTube. Firstly, I'd just like to say thank you to Joe and the team for inviting me along to this premiere of Train Time. But before I take you around and give you a high-level overview of what I'm building on this JNWHO series channel, I thought I'd just give you a couple words about myself. During the ages of 4 and 8, my late nan used to take me up on the train from Bulli all the way up to Sydney Sydney in New South Wales, Australia. And from that point of view, I was hooked on trains. I mean, there were these big, massive machines that I was just in awe of. So during, I guess, my teens, I sort of dabbled with a bit of modelling. Obviously I didn't have the money or the space for anything grand. I sort of kept it really small to like diorama type stuff. Rolling forward now that I'm in my late 40s here, you know, I've got the money, I've got the space. I actually built a custom train shed which is 8 metres by 5 metres. So this layout is based on those childhood memories. It's not a prototype, more of a proto-lancing. There's certain scenes that I have taken away from that area that I'm modelling. So I'll just put up a couple of my designs. It is an actual 3-level layout. It has 2 helixes. It's a dog bone design, but it's also got point-to-point operations. I'll show you the level 1 industrial area. It's gonna be sort of proto-lancing Port Kembla steelworks on some of the outskirts. On the left-hand side there in that loop, you can see that's where the first helix is on the southern side, and that takes us from level 1 to level 2. It's called the escarpment, based on the Illawarra escarpment, anywhere between, you know, Port Kembla all the way up to the outskirts of Sydney. The station is based on Helensburgh, not a prototypical one because it's meant to be on a curve, but I just couldn't fit it on to this layout without compromising the curves on each end. And as you can see on the right hand side there, this is where I've got the second helix. This goes from level 2 up to level 3. The main operation will be coal trains, passenger trains, a bit of freight as well. So here on this level 3 you can see the coal loader. On the left there's a bunch of tracks there where there's a branch line that comes off the main, and that will be visible going around the top of the first helix up on level 3. That's where the coal loader will be positioned, and then you've got some hidden track there on the left hand side, and then you can see that the coal train will disappear and then it will reappear on the other side of the mains, coming back and joining. So I'm down here standing at the southern end of this layout, and you can see in front of me this was the first of the 2 helixes that I've built. Basically goes from level 1 up to level 2 here. Now over here is one of my major projects I'm undertaking at the moment. This is the Stanwell Park Viaduct in New South Wales, and this is probably one of those scenes that I'm trying to get as close to the prototype as I can. One of the main projects I'm undertaking, or will undertake, for this particular layout is that it's made of bricks, over 3 million bricks, and I don't want to do it by card because there's certain brick patterns on it that I just can't find. I'm actually using my 3D resin printer, and I'll be trialling to put a face on it with those bricks, and it'll be very close to the prototype. Over here, the station, as I said, this is going to be sort of proto-lancing the Helensburgh station, but due to the fact that it's not on the curve as I mentioned earlier, I'm calling this one the escarpment station, but it will be roughly based on Helensburgh, the configuration, and there'll be certain rock faces along here and so on. Okay, I'm standing basically in the middle between the southern end and the northern end. Now the southern end I just showed you the first helix, which I'm standing next to right now. In the northern end here, this is basically where I'm up to in my show. This is the second helix that's going from level 2 up to level 3. Over there where you can see the ending to it, it'll transition over here to level 3. Now a couple of quirky things. I use these door hinges. Now they're not just your average door hinge, they're actually heavy duty door hinges. A few years ago I had some major renovations to the house and I had a bunch of these left over, and this is what I use to weigh down my track when I lay it and glue it. Now the second quirky thing to this show that a lot of people raise their eyebrows about, this grey stuff that you can see here. In the past I have used cork as my underlay between the sub-road bed and the track, so I've taken a bit of a major risk, but to date I'm quite happy with the sound deadening qualities. It's also got some good water resistant and fire resistant qualities in it as well. Something I'm using throughout this layout build. So far so good. So there you have it. That's basically pretty high level quick overview of the layout build to date. Now if this sort of interests you, please head over to JNWHO series channel. If you like it, please subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified with future videos. So just to finish up, I do want to thank Joe and his team again, and I wish you all the luck moving into the future with this show.
Wonderful video from Jason. He's doing a lot of nice work there. So a big thank you out to Jason Wood. Wonderful layout.
Have you noticed the carpentry?
Yes.
How beautiful that carpentry is?
Yes. Yes.
You know, everything seems to be very well calculated and so on. And when you see train running on that, they run just perfect.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
To be honest, I'm anxious to see when you start to put the sceneries and so on. We got some pictures of him that we'll post later on in another show about his bridge that he was talking about.
Right. And we'll definitely have to revisit him as the scenery starts showing up. So.
Oh, absolutely, because any kind of update from Jason will always be welcome.
Absolutely.
Remember to subscribe and click the bell so you can be advised when a new show is uploaded. Remember to subscribe and click the bell so you can be advised when a new show is uploaded.
Well, thank you to all the viewers that have posted pictures of their models or their railroad on our Canadian Model Railroad Facebook group. As you can see, if you see the pictures that is shown above, you're at the right place. Keep posting, guys. The more we have, the better it is. And now let's see the photo of the month. So what do you think about those photo, Peter?
Well, that's really, really nice submissions from everybody, and certainly thank you for your submissions, fellow modelers. We appreciate all the photos that have been sent in, and we look forward to more of them coming in. So we have lots of choices for photos of the month. So thank you again to all the submissions, and let's keep working at model railroading.
Oh, wow, yeah, it's fun. So that's why we do that. And the next segment will be visiting Lloyd. So let's go to visit Lloyd.
Okay.
Remember to subscribe and click the bell so you can be advised when a new show is uploaded.
Welcome to this episode of our show. We're coming to you from Lloyd Smith's HO layout in Winnipeg, and we will be interviewing Lloyd very shortly and looking at his work here on his HO scale layout. So stay tuned. I'm Peter Hall, and this is Lloyd Smith.
How do you do, Peter?
We're at Lloyd Smith's place in Winnipeg, visiting his HO layout, as I said. And off the top of my head, Lloyd, looking around at your layout, I have to ask, how many years have you been at this?
This was started about 1973, 74.
And when did you get into actually doing model trains?
That was when we got into it.
In 70.
I was a couple of years at that point.
Okay, so 73 is your starting point. Were you ever employed by the railway?
No, just my dad gave me a set of Canadian Flyer trains in 1940, one of the last ones before the war. And I was a show of the neighborhood because we had model trains, or toy trains at that time.
Like most of us in the hobby, we've started off with a Christmas set of toy trains, I guess.
I can still pick them under the tree.
Yeah, no doubt. I also noticed that you've got mostly Canadian railway, CP, CN, BC Rail.
Yeah.
Is that something that just because they're Canadian, or was it something of particular interest to you?
Just because they're Canadian, there's really no special interest. Some of the big air road engines, like the 6233 over there, ran to the Maritimes. That actually would pull us to the country farm in the summertime.
So you have childhood memories of the train?
Very much, yeah.
Is this kind of like a freelance, or did you have something in mind to model in particular?
It just grew. We had nothing in mind. A lot of them are gifts from family and other people, and we had to use a gift from a child, so it's there. And on it goes, but there's no real pattern after anything. It just fell together and fitted it together. It's been torn apart and put together a few times.
Do you could now?
Oh, it's done. Maybe not complete, but it's done.
Because I know as a model railroader myself, it seems like layouts are never towards the back here, and your scenery and stuff is just amazing. Any idea how many hours you've spent at this?
Not as many hours as you might think. I get busy, I do it. And sometimes I throw it away afterwards, but sometimes I get it and it keeps, you know.
Yeah. No, this is really something else. Have you belonged to any other clubs?
Well, the Winnipeg Model Railroad Club, I've belonged to it since about 75, I think. On and off. We've done other things in the meantime. So some years we more or less shut down the hobby and then reintroduced it some cold winter night or something or other. The Wind Track Club, the N-Scale.
Oh, yes.
I'm still a member of them and go out to their shows and meetings and so on. You get some ideas and you give some. There's a lot of people know a lot about things that you don't know, and some things are much more difficult than you realize until you get into it, you know.
I'm sure over the years too that you've noticed a lot of changes in modeling techniques.
Oh yes, the old wooden models you see here, and then the plastic models, and then now they get a prefab model. You buy it and put it on the layout. In this corner, the old house and the old barn. These are from the old barn is from a picture along the highway.
Okay, I see the old water wheel over there.
Yeah, that's more or less the ancient part of the world, and then move into the newer. But we never got quite into the 20th century or the 21st century.
Okay, because you've got a lot of steam and early.
Yeah, it's more or less the 50s to 60s. I got the odd piece of modern stuff, but not much.
Digitrax, DCC?
DCC. And I also run DC without any problems with my address 0. Thomas and the tank engines ran for years here.
Oh, okay.
And because the children come in and play, we have 7 grandchildren that have played with this layout, so every so often I still come down and find a mystery of what happened to this or that.
Grandkids are always great for trains, eh?
Yeah.
How long have you actually had Digitrax?
Oh, maybe I'd say about 1990, thereabouts.
So prior to that it was straight DC?
Yeah. And actually it's still all wired for DC now. We just sent a bus around for DCC, but some of the block work is still there. You can still shut off that track if you want to.
Well, looking around at it, you've certainly got a fantastic layout here, and the work that's gone into it is amazing. So
it's very great. It keeps you have to use your mind completely on it, so it's quite relaxing to have a hobby like this. And you use a lot of skills, woodworking to plaster to whatever. You're using a new skill every time you start another project.
Scenery artistic?
I'm not really, but it looks good anyhow.
But what you've done here is looking really good.
And it all comes off the layout. Like this layout here with these buildings, it's on a piece of masonite or plywood, 1/4 inch, and it comes off so you can take it to another room to work on it. And then you bring it in, and all the models are just sitting on frame. You don't need much cleaning. The house is very good for dust. The track never gets cleaned, it just runs. Some people seem to have to rub track every day they go to play trains, but they're not here.
No, it looks really good. No, I look around, and even up on your walls you've got shelving for some of your trains.
Yeah, and there's a lot of trains and boxes on the other side. I've been trying to sell some of it, and I've had a fair good response in selling, but the expensive stuff, nobody really wants it that expensive. So that's going to hang on with me till I'm done, I guess.
Do you notice that there's not as many people getting into the hobby? It's mostly older people?
Yeah, right. That's like I've got 4 children and none of them in the hobby. They just they got the ice fishing, snowmobiling, and quadding, and name it, you know.
I noticed with my own, my eldest son, he does miniatures, but he doesn't do trains. He works for CP, but
they have so many diversions compared to what we had. We had reading and hobbies. That's about all. And way back in my time when I was a boy, the war was on, so there's no hockey, there's no nothing. So we were very glad to have a model train.
have something that could occupy your time.
Yeah, right. I remember it was in the coal burning furnace in the basement, and my dad every so often would wash down the basement from the soot, and that kind of wiped out the trains for a few months, you know.
Moving forward, I mean, you've been in the hobby for a while. I know I have as well, not as long as you. Would you have any kind of advice or words of wisdom for anybody that's getting into the hobby?
There's so many people with so much advice that it's really quite shallow. They talk like they know the end of the world, but you got to really work at it to learn it. And like Joe he's got such a technique in doing things, whereas I'm kind of a gopher in that, you know. But things still did come together. And some things I bought one person's estate about 25 years ago, and some of that here is his, but most of it is mine, actually.
Jen, I'd like to thank you very much for having you and myself in for a visit and see your layouts.
I should be doing the thanks.
Well, it's also good to see you again, so.
Hey Junior, what's coming up in the next show?
Well, we're looking at some videos that we have from John Longhurst.
Well, it's more the pictures of his Manitoba, Minnesota sub that he allow us to publish in our video.
We weren't able to get a video of his layout because he was dismantling it and moving from house to house.
Well, I don't know if he moved yet, but I know that he's definitely downsizing. The kids are gone now, so his layout will be a little bit smaller.
Yes. So maybe when he gets that one up and running, we can go and video that one.
I sure hope so. Then we'll have the photo of the month, like we usually have.
Yes.
And maybe a couple of surprises coming up that we cannot really talk about it right now, but we'll bring you some surprise. And for the month of June, we will have the author Barbara Lange come in studio with us and talk about her books, and I'm looking forward to that segment. So till next time, happy modeling. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at the next show.
Have a good day.